Hey, it's Hunt. You found Hunt on Saints. We're talking black and gold football. Do us a favor. Hit the like button, share your comments below, and hit that subscription button so you can get all of our content. Enjoy. Let's start with the New Orleans Saints. News today that Alvin Kamara was named the NFL's Offensive Player of the Week. Great honor for Alvin as he goes for 4 touchdowns in the game against Dallas. He has been sensational in this Clint Kubiak offense. And that was really the question, wasn't it? How well can Clint Kubiak use Alvin Kamara? And immediately everybody wanted to go straight to Christian McCaffrey. And I'm going, okay, that's fine. Christian McCaffrey is the reigning MVP of the National Football League, and Alvin Kamara has had 3 straight years of very, very limited production. So just assuming that that's going to pick up right where Christian McCaffrey left off or right where Alvin Kamara was 5 years ago seems like a little bit of a stretch for me. But right now, through 2 weeks, it's not a stretch. It has been the case. The Saints have gotten Alvin Kamara involved in that stretch running game that fits his game so well. The Saints have gotten Alvin Kamara involved in the short passing game, which has been fantastic. The offensive line has blocked very, very well. Derek Carr has used that running game, and they've been able to stretch the ball down the field and hit big shots to Shaheed. But it all, as we talked about yesterday on the show, it all starts with the running game, and that's been largely Alvin Kamara. Yes, Jamal Williams has done his part more than he did all of last year. Yes, Taysom Hill has done his part, but now he's a little bit banged up this week. Kamara is the straw that's stirring that drink in a big, big way, and it's been incredible to sit there and watch him kind of return to the form that we saw 4 or 5 years ago. And it brings up the point, okay, we were in a contract dispute with Alvin Kamara over the course of the offseason. He left minicamp early, said, hey, I left minicamp early to make a statement, but I'm here to work. I'm here to practice. I'm here to play. I'm trying to go get money. I'm not trying to give it back, which is what he would have done if he held out and was paying fines every day. And I told you on this show that I was so impressed with the professionalism of Alvin Kamara to suggest that, hey, I want the money, and that's important to me, but I also know I got to practice with my guys, and I'm going to go out there and play. And he talked about how much he loves the city, and I believe him. Alvin Kamara went through a lot of great times early in his professional career in that city, and I'll tell you, as someone who's been in that city, when the Saints are really good, that's a lot of fun. It's a great fan base. It's a great environment. It was a great team. They won a lot of games. There was some heartbreak involved late, but Kamara was part of the twilight of Drew Brees' career, which produced some really, really good football teams. And now he's playing great, and he's obviously endeared himself once again. Not that he ever didn't endear himself to the fan base, but everyone's back in right now. And so the question is, do you open up the checkbook now and sign Alvin Kamara to an extension? He clearly wants it. There have clearly been negotiations. Do you make that happen? A lot of people thought it would happen in the offseason. And the Saints, to their credit, held firm. I talked about it all offseason. No extensions. Don't kick the can down the road on anybody. No deferring of money. You got yourself into this mess. You've got to get yourself out of it. And the only way to do that is to hold on to your purse strings and chill out, which the Saints haven't done in 15 years. And they did it this offseason. They did not overextend themselves. They did not overextend for Chase Young. They paid him a 1-year deal here. They did not overextend or try to bring back Michael Thomas. They did not go out and sign any free agents to gaudy 4- and 5-year deals. They held firm. But now, do you change that philosophy because Alvin Kamara has played the way he has played through the first 2 weeks? It's a discussion worth having, I think. Now, my answer is probably not going to be a very popular answer because of the way the last 2 weeks have gone, but I'm not doing that if I'm the Saints. 2 things can be incredibly true at the same time. 1, this offense is cooking. It is humming. It is awesome. 2, Alvin Kamara is still 30, and we have watched this for 2 weeks. There is no rule that says if you don't sign Alvin Kamara to an extension today, you can't do it down the line. Now, there becomes a point where he could become a free agent, but you're going to have first dibs there. You're going to have the table before everyone else can show up at the table. So I'm going to need to see more of this to make me feel really good about a sizable deal. Now, I will put in the caveat here as I talk about this that I don't know what the numbers are. I don't know what the Saints think of it. I don't know what Alvin Kamara thinks of it. I don't know in terms of years, and I don't know in terms of dollars. So without that information, it's impossible for me to make any sort of declaration, a final declaration. But just in general, my thought is I'm not willing to just immediately toss a 3-year deal on the table just because the Saints have looked awesome for 8 quarters. It's so exciting and so encouraging for this season. But that contract extension has nothing to do with this season. Nothing. And Alvin Kamara is only going to get older. And if we want to have this real conversation outside the Saints locker room, just Saints fans and me having a discussion here, like if the Saints are incredible this year to the point where you want to extend Alvin Kamara because you think you're now Super Bowl contenders moving forward, just being honest here, do we think Clint Kubiak's going to be back next year if that happens? Again, I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen. I'm not saying it's definitely not. But we're playing with hypotheticals here with Alvin Kamara's paycheck. And if we're talking about 2025, 2026, 2027, well, that offense may be a little bit different. And I might need to go get some more playmakers. And I might not need to tie up money in players that are aging out of their prime. I'm thrilled, beyond thrilled, that Alvin Kamara is on this team right now at the salary he's making, because that is perfectly adequate. But you realize when you're paying someone and you agree to a new contract, you're paying them for the production that goes on during the life of that contract. My confidence level that Alvin Kamara is going to be a very, very productive player in a good offense, not in last year's offense, not in the offense the year before that, but a good offense, my confidence level is somewhere in the neighborhood of 70%. I feel good that Alvin Kamara still has some gas in the tank. He's a guy that likes to play in space. He's good catching the football. He hasn't been for years slamming into middle linebackers 30 times a game. His running style is not like Derrick Henry's. And he's good at avoiding contact. I think he has gas in the tank. But let me just wait a second before we immediately jump in and react to 2 weeks of football or 4 weeks of football or 6 weeks of football and go, okay, now we got to give the contract. Now, to circle back on this, because this is an important piece to this discussion that I'm having, because I know it's not going to be very popular when everybody's feeling really great. And I get that. But I do want to highlight the fact that I continue to applaud Alvin Kamara's amazing professionalism, because he has handled this exceptionally well. This is rare in professional sports, that players are in this situation and always have a smile on their face and always come to work and produce. That does not happen all the time. And Alvin Kamara deserves a ton of credit for that. But credit to Alvin Kamara does not help my salary cap situation, which, by the way, still is not awesome in New Orleans. And that is something they have got to figure out moving forward. I feel like they have figured it out, but you don't need to go jump back into a mess right now. So 99.9% of the Saints coverage right now should be wildly positive, and I personally am wildly positive about the Saints right now. I think this feels for real. I think this team right now is a threat. I could come back in 14 days and go, whoa, we really got out of our skis there. And that may happen, and we'll have that conversation if we do, but right now it feels like they're really on to something. And that's awesome. But I think there are different things that we need to approach and talk about that aren't just between the lines, and this salary cap situation they're trying to dig themselves out of is one of them. My gut tells me that they will get a deal done with Alvin Kamara and make that work. I'm just curious what the terms of that deal are, and then we'll react to it. Saints are good right now, and they got a real chance to win this game against Philly, one that most people 3 weeks ago, not me, penciled in as a loss. If you go back to my preseason predictions, I had the Saints beating the Philadelphia Eagles. I did not have them beating the Dallas Cowboys. You go 3-0 with wins over Philly and Dallas. Those are thought to be two of the big threats in the NFC. I think they're for real, but that doesn't mean you go screw the salary cap back up again because you're paying older players past their prime big-time dollars. Hey, it's on. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button, leave your comments in the section below, and hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.